the traction they're getting.
Thank you, Rod, for that great introduction.
You're not the kooky guys, though, right?
No, we're not the kooky ones. We have a real plan and a good idea, I hope. So, and thank you, Boom Startup, for giving us the chance to come in after you had the bad experience with the other political company. But anyway, by way of introduction, my name is Troy Bingham. We are iCount, and we facilitate communication, political communication. And most importantly, we're actually addressing. Was this not working? And more importantly, we are addressing communication between elected officials and their constituents. And so there's elected officials at the state and the national level that want to engage with their constituents. They want to get feedback. They want to know what their opinions are. And then there's constituents who also want to feel like their voice is being heard, that they're able to influence the decisions of those elected officials that they have put in office. Unfortunately, so does a lot of people around the nation. And that outside influence floods into these congressional offices, essentially drowning out the voice of the individual voter, the individual constituent. And so that's the problem that we're addressing. And the way iCount goes about it is we initially do a voter validation process where we are able to match registered voters with their actual elected officials so that we can mute all that outside influence. These voters are able to go to our website, apps on Facebook as well as mobile apps, and be able to engage on several different levels where they can voice their opinion on actual bills before they become law, where they can voice their opinion on polls, enter into debates, sign petitions, and so forth. We then distill that information down into a very easy to read report that gives timely and accurate data back to the elected official. And then to complete that communication cycle, we then give information back to the constituent as far as voting history, positions, stances, different things like that for the elected official, as well as open up an opportunity for the elected individual to engage with their constituents by direct responses to comments and questions, as well as creating and managing polls. So what I want to do now is just go through just a couple of the opportunities where your voice can be heard at iCount. So as soon as you log into iCount, one of the first things that you can notice is a message from your congressman. In this scenario, he's asking for you to participate on a poll where he wants to get your opinion on what's important to you. So with just a couple clicks of the button, your voice now counts. Also, up in the top right-hand corner, what you'll notice is a piece of legislation that has just hit the floor at the national level that is also something that's of interest to me. And so I want to make sure that my voice counts in that as well. But I don't really know that much about that particular bill, so I want to do a little bit of research. So by clicking that link, I can then go into the section where it explains exactly what this bill is about. I can read the text of the bill. I can look at summaries, articles, debates, headlines, all kinds of different engagement opportunities. And each piece in there is ranked based off of a left-right slant from the author and a quality scale. So I can really find exactly what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a moderate to a left-leaning article so that I can develop my opinion, or maybe a strong right article that I can develop my opinion, and then I want to find things that are high quality. Once I've gone through that process and developed my own opinion, now it's time for me to vote. And so again, just with a simple couple clicks of the button, now there's an important notice that you want to make sure that you have an opinion before you vote on this, because it is going to go to your elected officials. Now with the poll, it went to just that one elected official. In the case of a vote on a piece of legislation, it's going to become available to your entire elected delegation. They're going to know exactly how you feel about this particular issue. Now, one vote, one voice is not that powerful, and so you want to make sure that you also engage your networks outside of iCount and get them to come here and voice their opinions as well. So that's just a walkthrough of the website. Next, we're going to talk about the marketing strategy. And our strategy for user acquisition is really to leverage relationships. Right now we're working on relationships with advocacy groups that have massive numbers of members that are looking to move their groups into iCount to facilitate communication among themselves as well as with their elected officials. Patrick Henry Caucus is one advocacy group that we're working with right now. They have about 9,000 users that they're looking to put into iCount. And so we're going to leverage relationships with other groups like that. Also relationships with politicians. We've got relationships with a number of state legislators who have stated that they want this to be their preferred method of communication with their constituents. And as such, they want to be able to then spread that word out to their databases of voters in their area. And then just because of these relationships, as well as the type of data that we get out of iCount, there's a tremendous amount of PR possibilities for us. And so we see that as being really a strong play for us to get users into the system. Once people are there, there's a very inherent viral nature to the website, and we want to make it very appealing for people to reach out to their existing contact lists, get them engaged, and then we also want to award them for their behaviors while they're on the website as they get people from other networks voting on polls and voicing their opinion on bills and different things like that. So where do we make money on iCount? I'm going to walk through just the website so you can see it's not just an ad play. We're not just trying to get advertising revenue from our website, but there's multiple different ways that we can do this. And in fact, whenever we speak with elected officials and candidates and these advocacy groups, they continue to tell us more and more ways that we can leverage this to make money. So the first one that we see here are direct calls to action. Lobbyist groups, candidates, and advocacy groups are going to want to be able to get in front of you and encourage you to vote on bills that you may not be aware of. There is very targeted banner advertising. There are third-party polls and surveys. There's the Donate Now feature for organizations and campaigns where we can take a piece of that, as well as analytic subscriptions for those different groups as well. Now, because of the targeted nature of the website and the type of people that are there and what they're doing on there, we feel like we're really going to be able to take advantage of a lot of the social and viral growth, as well as the high CPM rates and high rates for the political targeted websites. We're very supremely confident that we're going to be able to make about $3 to $4, if not more, per person per year. And so that's why our primary focus is on user acquisition. So our management team, I have up here with me, I've got Merrill Hansen, who is our CTO, Jason Bingham, our COO, again, my name is Troy Bingham, the CEO. We also have a number of other team members up there, if you'll raise your hand as well. Those are some of our sales and marketing guys, as well as developers that are working on this project, and we appreciate them. As a group, we really feel like we fit the foundation of what's necessary for a startup company. We have more than 10 years each in each of our respective spheres. We also have significant experience with startup and high growth organizations, as well as with liquidity events. We're also all three elected at precinct level. We're very active in politics, and so we know the sphere and know the pain pretty well. So the offer, what we're looking for today is $150,000. We do have term sheet available. We do have a couple of committed investors. We are looking to complete that round as quickly as possible. And so as far as proceeds and what we're going to be using that for, it really is to go out there and complete our PR strategy, get users into the system, and to build those relationships with our clients and with different advocacy groups and elected officials who can drive traffic to our site. And so make sure that you remember where your voice counts, it's at iCount.